Kyojuro was a young adult of tall stature and muscular athletic build. He's known to be charismatic and has an air of great optimism, having an enthusiastic smile plastered on his face nearly all the time. As a Hashira of the Demon Slayer Corps, Kyojuro was a very powerful and skilled combatant. Before he took his father's place, Kyojuro was already shown to be an amazing fighter. He successfully avenged the death of 9 Demon Slayers who all died to the Flute Demon all by himself, and later managed to single-handedly defeat lower rank 2, Hyro, who even praised his swordsmanship before he died. Moreover, his father, Shinjiro Rengoku, stated that after he stopped teaching his son, Kyojuro trained himself to become a Hashira by learning from the guidebook of the Flame Breathing Style, a book which had only 3 volumes. Rengoku had one brother. He was the eldest one. His father, Shinjiro Rengoku, was known as the Flame Hashira of the Demon Slayer Corps until he unexpectedly retired. Kyojuro's younger brother, Senjiro Rengoku, also trained alongside him. Rehabilitation Training Arc. Kyojuro is first presented with his fellow Hashira when Tanjiro Kamado awakens. Shinobu Kocho notes that Tanjiro is on trial, for which Kyojuro sees no need as he was clearly protecting a demon, which is a clear violation of conduct. He states that it was a matter they could deal with themselves. He then agrees with Gyome Himajima's idea to kill Nezuko Kamado, witnessing shortly afterward Tanjiro's coughing fit, and remains silent when Mitsuri Kanroji asks if they should be dealing with their subordinate's trial without Kagaya Ubuyashiki's input. After Tanjiro headbutts Sanemi Shinazugawa, Kyojuro looks at Mitsuri when she laughs with a neutral expression. Mugen Train Arc. We first see Rengoku in action when he is sent to investigate with his companion a series of attacks near a small village, believing it's something related to the incident of 40 missing passengers aboard the Mugen Train. As he and his companion leave, they get to know that the Mugen Train is being held at a maintenance facility. Rengoku also met a scared young girl named Fuku on the station, from whom he buys bento boxes. Rengoku, carrying the bento boxes, heads to the actual train, and senses the faint scent of a demon who might be responsible for all the missing persons. Suddenly, a scream is heard, and a marked demon appears, clutching a young worker in his claws and causing him to bleed heavily. Rengoku warns the demon, but it replies mocking human flesh as it disgusts him, and he'll only eat the flesh which he finds palpable. The demon activates his blood demon art, allowing him to speed around the Hashira and taunt him. As the demon steps forward to kill the worker, Kyojuro slices both of his hands off, forcing him to retreat. Kyojuro then heads towards the demon's trail and follows the train tracks, using his total concentration breathing to accelerate to incredible speeds. The demon finds Fuku next and tries to kill her, but gets distracted by her grandmother. Fuku tries to run, but the demon catches her again. Rengoku reaches her at the perfect time, slicing the demon's Achilles and saving Fuku. He then mocks the demon for being slow, and rushes forward instantly, decapitating the unsuspecting demon with his flame-breathing first form, saving Fuku's grandmother. With relief, when the companion asks Rengoku if the situation is settled, he replies that there must be a more powerful demon who is responsible for the disappearances. Rengoku boards the Mugen Train for further inspection, where he meets Tanjiro, who introduces the Hashira to Inosuke, Zenitsu, and Nezuko. The conversation between Tanjiro and the Flame Hashira goes on for a bit, in which he explains that breathing styles were derived from either those two, or wind breathing, stone, or thunder. He also discusses the black color of the Nichiren sword that Tanjiro owns, and how people whose blades turn black don't even know which breathing style to master. While they're on the train, the conductor comes over to stamp their tickets. Tanjiro smells something unusual, and Kyojuro experiences the same feeling. After asking for the conductor to step aside, they find a large-bodied demon on the other side of the carriage. Rengoku proceeds to behead the demon using his breathing first form. The demon's body falls to the ground, and only Rengoku knows that there's a second one nearby. As frightened passengers flee to the other side of the carriage, Tanjiro and the others see a demon cornering one passenger. Inosuke leads, leaving the two behind, and when he's about to be hit by the demon's long arms, Rengoku rushes forward to save Inosuke and the passenger, before using his flame-breathing second form to kill the demon. After a while, all 4 of them fall asleep on the train. Rengoku dreams of going back home and telling his father that he's become the Flame Hashira, to which his father responds with no excitement at all. There, he also meets with his younger brother, who seems unhappy because of his father's reaction. But Kyojuro calms his younger brother down and says that he'd always have an older brother to look up to. In his dream, he also tutors his younger brother in his sword skills. Meanwhile, a girl working for the demon Enmu ties a rope to her wrist, which is made by an upper demon, and tries to enter Rengoku's subconscious. Enmu has sent the girl to destroy Rengoku's spiritual core, so his body would become a lifeless shell and he wouldn't be able to put up a fight against the demon. Soon, when the girl locates his spiritual core, an invisible force lifts the girl up. This is actually Rengoku's unconscious spirit instincts telling him about the danger. However, the two bodies are still unconscious, locked together. Enmu then manages to merge his body with the train while everyone is asleep. As a result, the whole train poses a threat towards the passengers. Tanjiro wakes up and asks Nezuko to sever the ropes connecting them. When Kyojuro wakes up, he sends Tanjiro and Inosuke to the front so they can defeat demons, while he, Zenitsu, and Nezuko plan to protect the 8 train cars. Later, Tanjiro and Inosuke defeat Enmu, and Rengoku checks on the injured Tanjiro afterwards. Tanjiro is bleeding from the abdomen, and Rengoku asks him to use breathing techniques to heal himself. Rengoku tells Tanjiro that he doesn't need to push himself anymore, as everyone is saved. Suddenly, however, something jumps down behind the 2 demon slayers with great force, scattering dust around him. The dust clears to reveal the presence of the upper rank demon 3, Akaza. The very next moment, the demon progresses towards Tanjiro with the intention of killing him, but is saved by Kyojuro's flame-breathing second form. The demon immediately heals his injuries, and upon being asked why he would attack an injured person first, he replies that he doesn't want an injured person in the fight. Then, both Hashira and Demon introduce themselves to each other, and Akaza asks Rengoku to become a demon. Rengoku declines swiftly. Akaza again demands Rengoku to become a demon, otherwise he'd die. To this, Rengoku explains that death is the beauty of human nature, and that's what makes it unique. The demon then attacks Kyojuro as the Hashira runs towards him with his flame-breathing first form attack readied. Kyojuro then runs towards him with his flame-breathing first form readied. Akaza jumps back and says that none of the Hashira he's killed have ever agreed to his invitation of becoming a demon, and that he finds it hard to understand. Akaza unleashes Destructive Death, Air-type, which Kyojuro counters with flame-breathing fourth form. Rengoku realizes that he'd have to get near the demon in order to kill him. Tanjiro gets up, wanting to help the Hashira, but Akaza asks the Hashira to not take notice of weaklings, which angers Rengoku, and he attacks the demon with flame-breathing fifth form, as Akaza unleashes his Destructive Death, Disorder. When Tanjiro and Inosuke get ready to help Kyojuro, they soon realize that the two are fighting on an entirely new level, which is impossible for them to reach. The whole time, Akaza shows a sense of disappointment for Rengoku to die at such an early age. The two clash again, with Rengoku using flame-breathing ninth form and Akaza using Destructive Death Annihilation type. This time, the dust disperses to reveal that Akaza has stuck his arm through Kyojuro's stomach. For the last time, Akaza asks if Rengoku would want to convert into a demon. This causes Rengoku to remember his last moments with his mom, Ruka, where she asks him if he knows why he's born stronger than other people, to which Rengoku wonders for a while and replies that he doesn't know. Ruka then explains that it's because he's intended to protect the weak and to not abuse his power to hurt anyone. Back in the present, Rengoku summons all of his strength for the last time to swing his sword into Akaza's neck, and shouts as he presses his sword deeper. Akaza tries to free himself by punching Rengoku's face, but Rengoku doesn't let go. Akaza is so impressed by Rengoku's strength, but gets panicked as he sees that the sun is soon coming out. With a loud shout of effort, Akaza tries again to pull himself away from Kyojuro, but fails as Kyojuro's blade moves deeper into Akaza's neck. Tanjiro screams to Inosuke to finish Akaza, but as he gets ready to help, Akaza manages to set himself free by cutting both of his hands off, and runs towards the forest to find shade. Tanjiro screams out and calls Akaza a coward for leaving the fight, and praising Rengoku for not letting anyone die. As Tanjiro falls to the ground, screams and cries, Kyojuro smiles and calls Tanjiro for a final conversation. Rengoku asks Tanjiro to visit his home if he wants to learn more about Hinokami Kagura, since there are some notes left there. He also asks Tanjiro to tell his brother to keep his head high and follow his dreams, and to tell his father to take care of himself. He looks into the eyes of Tanjiro and tells him that he fully accepts Nezuko as part of the Demon Slayer Corps. He says that he believes all of them to be the next generation of the Hashira. The Flame Hashira then sees the spirit of his mother before him and asks her if he did well, to which she replies that he did a wonderful job. As the last seconds of his life slip away, Kyojuro smiles, content that he saved people's lives. Thanks for watching, everyone. Remember to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.